Yeah, we have a metal band coming in
to like practice
to record drums.
Okay.
Not the whole band, but the whole band is showing up, and they're like, "Is that going to be a problem with space?" Like, we might have to have a few people stand outside while their drum takes happen.
You're just listening anyway.
Yeah, exactly. They just want to be here for it, I guess. But yeah, we're doing like this band is like heavy. I've never done anything like it. So I've worked on some punkier stuff, but never ventured this far into metal. So it's gonna be interesting.
Cool.
He's got like 4 toms on the kit and just
bringing his own kit, I guess.
Yeah, bringing his own kit. He's got about 8 cymbals. I mean, it's just gonna be ludicrous, but it'll be fun.
It's gonna be fun.
How's it going, everybody? This is the Garden Groove Podcast, episode 16, and this week we have Jake Sommers. Jake plays with Luke Combs, and he is kind of in the middle of a tour right now. Not kind of, very in the middle of a tour right now. And he's been kind enough to come in and hang out with us and play some drums, talk about some drums, talk about some jamming maybe later on.
Yes, sir.
How's it going?
I'm doing well. You actually said my last name correctly. Thank you for that.
What do people say?
So people usually say Sommers
Sommers.
with like a hard O, and I'm like, no.
Sommers.
Yeah, I'm like, it's
Oh,
like
Jake
the
Sommers.
season.
It's just like
Replace the U with an O and put an S at the end.
Sommers.
I
Wouldn't it be
worked-
Sommer if it had like the 2 dots over the O? Wouldn't that
Maybe.
be Sommers?
Sure, I
I
guess
don't know
so.
how it works.
I try really hard to say people's names correctly, almost to the
That's
point
good.
of like sometimes someone can come in and have the most basic last name, and I will still ask them if I'm saying it right, just because that's my worst fear is to like start the podcast and then get corrected right out of the gate. Like,
Oh, yeah.
actually, just,
You said it wrong.
yeah,
Dun,
just,
dun,
like,
dun.
oh, look, they
That's
look
what I
like an
thought you were
idiot
going to
now.
say, like, actually.
Yeah,
But the opposite.
I did it on a recent podcast, actually.
Really?
It
actually
was a fun
somebody-
one, too. The guy pronounced my last name wrong, and I was like, I told him at the end, I was like, he's like, what? He was like, I was like, you said my last name wrong. He goes, I did? I was like, yeah. He goes, how do you say it then? I was like, oh, I like the season. He goes, oh, my bad.
yeah.
But we had
it's-
fun.
I'm sure it happens.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
Taylor has always said it right, and I didn't realize there was an O until he texted me, hey, we got Jake Sommers for whatever today is.
Yeah.
I'm blanking, but I didn't realize it was an O until
No,
till
you're
then,
good.
so it was
Yeah.
already locked. I was like, all right, like the season. But
The season.
so you are fresh off the road and about to be fresh back on it.
Yes,
Getting a
we
little
just
rest.
finished our second weekend of our tour.
Awesome. Second
Yeah.
weekend, so y'all are
We are
fresh right
very
now.
much in the beginning of the tour still.
Yeah. How long is that going to go for?
So it started April 12th. The last weekend of the tour is August 9th?
Okay.
August 9th or 10th?
Yes, all
Or
the
that weekend. So it's
kind of the summer months.
13
Yeah.
weekends, 25 shows.
Okay. That's a
Yeah. So
That's
most
doable.
of the shows are 2 nights in a row,
mhm.
except for this upcoming one, which is Penn State, because it holds more people.
Okay. So just
So-
one.
Just doing one.
Nice. And are there any, I assume a lot of this is going to be North American. Are there any abroad dates in there as well?
For the tour, no. It's
Yeah,
all
all-
the states.
all states,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. A lot of East Coast, some West Coast.
Okay. Gotcha.
So
Very fun.
yeah,
Wow, it's exciting.
Oh, yeah. We're doing like 2 nights at SoFi, which would be super cool.
Mhm.
2 nights at Levi's where the 49ers play, which would be awesome.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so y'all are doing a lot of stadiums.
Oh, it's a whole
Oh,
stadium
well,
tour.
like I mean, obviously stadiums, but like y'all are doing
NFL.
a lot of where people play as well in these cities.
Yeah, well,
like,
yeah. I mean, we're doing all NFL stadiums.
Yeah.
We have to now, which
Yeah.
is cool.
Yeah, that is cool. That's super cool.
When did that start? When did the stadium routes start?
So last year was the first full-on stadium tour, but the year
What was last
prior, in 2022, we had like 3 stadiums. It was more of like a test run, I would say, to make sure, like, okay, we can sell these out, play these, and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
it works.
So we did Mile High in Denver, Lumen Field, and we did Mercedes-Benz in Atlanta, but we did a festival at the Shoe at Ohio State, and we headlined it, it kind of felt like it was just our show in a sense.
Uh-huh.
So that was super cool. So then
Yeah.
it was like, okay, last year was like, okay, they can sell out stadiums, or he can sell out stadiums. So we did a whole stadium tour last year, and then you just kind of do the same thing this year.
Yeah.
Except this year we are not going overseas twice
Gotcha.
or once.
Oh yeah, you had.
Last year was a busy year, but it was a lot of fun. So we did a stadium tour, which ended end of July.
Yeah.
We were home for about 6 days. Then we flew to New Zealand, played a show there. Then we flew to Australia and were there for 3 weeks. Came home for a month. Then we flew to the Nordic countries, played some shows there. Flew to Europe, played some shows there. We were busing over there. Bus to the UK after, and it ended there. We did 2 nights at the O2 to end the tour.
That's
Oh,
right.
O2, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was sweet.
Yeah, it's huge.
Oh yeah.
You
What
gotta-
are
Yeah, that's like-
what are Scandinavian country fans like?
I mean,
Is
they
it-
know all the words just like
Yeah.
people here do, so it was fun.
That's super cool. I wonder. I would just be so curious, like about because I know, like in Tasmania, there's like a huge country thing down there. Like people down in
Really?
yeah, like
Really?
It's actually the band is it the Wolf Brothers?
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Yeah,
They're Australian, aren't they?
Yeah, they're Australian. They're from Tasmania. I met them when I was interning at a studio,
That's
and they
right.
were telling me about it. They were like, "Yeah, we're the." I'm not going to try an Australian accent, but they're like, "We're the rednecks of Australia." So like, they're like, we're the ones that are like rowdy and like country music is like huge down
Oh,
in
it's
that area.
massive.
And
Massive.
Were these the rugby players, or is this a different story?
that's a different
This is
story.
something
That
else.
was in
Okay.
Ireland.
Okay,
it's
yeah.
a whole other story to get into. No,
worth
this
it.
is they're from Tasmania, but I was just that was like the first I always think about country music being this very American thing, and it's of
No,
course,
they love it everywhere.
our culture gets exported to
Yeah.
everywhere else, and I
totally
just think
gets
it's so
exported.
interesting.
So like we did one show in Paris. There was a small show on the tour. It was like a 1,200 person club. They knew every word to every song.
That's so cool.
Packed to the brim.
Yeah.
So much fun. Like by far the smallest stage we played in a long time.
Yeah.
But we had a blast.
This is a horribly dumb question. Is it English speaking every place that you go? Have you ever played in a place that is
Like where they didn't sing the words in English?
Yeah,
You
but
know,
like it's not like their main language.
I'm pretty sure they sang the words in English and like in Paris. and all
Yeah,
that
sing
stuff.
it in English, but it's not their first language.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
It was cool though, because I was like, oh,
Yeah.
how are they going to sing these in like French or
Yeah.
whatever it may be?
Well, I was thinking it's
But-
cool. Like, I don't know anybody in America that their like favorite band is like a French speaking band, or I guess you have like
Me either.
K-pop.
Dude, I'm like super into a lot of French bands.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my biggest
Oh, okay,
artist
never
last year
mind.
is a French band called
Maybe it's
Slift.
just- maybe it's just
Called
me.
what?
I'm the guy.
You're
What is the band
guy.
called?
Slift.
Interesting. What type of music?
They're like it's like really nerdy psychedelic rock. Like all their songs are about
makes sense.
sci-fi, but they have like really cool riffs. I actually saw them in Denver, and it was one of those shows where like the crossover point of like how small the band is to how much I like them was like just the perfect ratio, where they were playing the High Dive in Denver, and
Yeah.
not a big
It's a
venue.
great spot, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Or no, sorry, HQ right across the street.
Okay.
Same size venue.
Yeah.
And it's like a 200 person cap venue, and it was their first North American tour, and the energy in there was so crazy because like everybody in there knew this band independently of each other, and they were
That's
like,
cool.
all of you guys know about this? I thought I was the only one that knew about these guys. And so everyone was just like so hyped to be there. The tangent anyway, but
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. So there's some really good French bands. Random
Okay,
fact.
I
Just to
can't
correct
think-
you, Taylor.
I don't
Sorry.
think I've ever listened to a band in a different language in my entire life.
Really?
Is Rammstein?
Yeah, they're
Don't they sing in Germany?
Yeah.
They sing in
They're-
German, not Germany. Obviously,
pretty
they're
sure they-
from Germany, but
Maybe
I think a little of both, maybe.
a mix.
Yeah.
I've never really got to know them.
Yeah, are you? Yeah, well, that's kind of a segue into like. So we talked about what you're doing right now, but as far as drums for you, like where are you stylistically? Where are you coming from when you play with Luke and when you play with everybody else? What are your your core influences that you kind of started with?
I mean, I grew up on rock and roll.
Yeah.
Like the Beatles, Springsteen, Rolling Stones, The Police, and then kind of got into all my own stuff. Foo Fighters, Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, Green Day, Blink-182, Nirvana.
Yeah.
But I went to college in Philly at University of the Arts, which was a jazz school. So I dove deep into jazz stuff, Latin, funk, tower power, African grooves, all that stuff. So I have all in my background.
Yeah.
The last thing I really learned was country. I got into it my junior year of college.
Yeah.
So, but I did my homework.
Right.
I charted so many songs
Yeah.
before moving here, thinking I'm going to play these on Broadway when I move here.
Yeah.
I must have charted 150 songs off the Billboard Top 30 Country Radio portion in their website.
Mm-hmm.
I played 6 when I moved here, and then I chart 120 more
Oh my gosh.
for
Just
the
learning
gig.
the Broadway set, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was good practice. It was good homework.
Oh,
so like,
100%.
I love Stuart Copeland. Obviously love Dave Grohl, Taylor Hawkins,
Yeah.
but also I love Ringo.
Right.
I love Max Roach, jazz guy. And there's guys like today, Aaron Sterling. He's amazing. His groove and his pocket are just infectious.
The
Yeah.
drum sounds that he's
The
getting.
drum
too,
sounds he
like-
gets are insane.
Yeah.
He's so creative with how he gets everything too, putting stuff through like delays and guitar pedals and this and that. And I'm like, I don't know if I would ever really thought about trying to do that at first.
Yeah.
Putting like high toms on top of his snare drum to
Which
get
is
like
sweet.
a deeper snare sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They
really
did a
cool.
whole thing on Reverb about that. Or
Oh, did they really?
Reverb.com. They did a video showing that. Yeah.
I
So
never saw it.
there's a lot of cool techniques like that. Like the kick cannon. Have you ever seen one of those? They put a kick drum in front of the main kick drum.
Oh
and
yes,
then
I have seen that. And
yeah.
they put a blanket over it.
Put a blanket over it and
Yep.
it creates this tunnel of
Yeah,
just like
that's
low end.
that's a huge studio trick too.
Yeah, it is.
I tried it at my house,
Yeah.
but I think don't you need like a chair to hold the blanket up or something, or you need like a weighted like packing blanket?
Sometimes they do put a chair on the other end of the second kick drum.
or just
and-
like a brick.
yeah, or
I've
the
seen a
brick.
brick
Yeah,
holding
brick.
like
You do-
more of the mic stand in place,
Yeah, yeah.
but
But the weighting blankets or like the packing blankets.
I've seen that
That's
to
the
like go
key.
over
Mm-hmm.
the kick drums because it really keeps the sound in.
Yeah, it keeps
Yeah.
it super isolated
You
from
can't just
everything
do
else.
your grandma's knitted
No, it's
blanket
gotta be
with
No,
like a
holes
no.
in it.
packing blanket, moving blanket kind
Yeah,
of thing.
it's not gonna do the same trick.
So, I know that, and I guess I would like to hear your perspective on this because you mentioned a lot of rock guys. I know that right now in country, a big thing is a lot of country artists are getting people that are very much rock drummers or people that were in bands. Like I think the drummer for Under Oath is in
Aaron
Co-
Gillespie.
Yes, he plays with Co Wetzel, right? Or am
Oh,
I
I don't
thinking
know.
of somebody else?
I don't know if he does or not. I don't think so.
It might not be Under Oath. It might be another. There's another band that's kind of in that realm, kind of metalcore, kind of hard
So, like,
rock.
The drummer and the guitar player for Dan and Shay, they were in a pop punk band. And I'm blanking on the name of it.
Really?
Before Dan and Shay.
Huh.
Like, they did like the Warped Tour and all those types
Yeah.
of things.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Miles McPherson.
Yeah, he's
he's
awesome.
Like, he's all over the place on sessions and stuff. And I don't know if does he tour with anybody these days, or is he
No,
just
just
sessions?
sessions.
Yeah, but he was with Paramore for a while.
they've gone through 6 drummers until Zach came back.
Wow, that's crazy. So do you feel like as a drummer, very much in the big stadium country world, do you feel like you're drumming like a rock drummer, or do you feel like there are certain things that you have to incorporate that kind of bring it back into the country thing?
I
How do you
mean,
juggle that?
I wouldn't even call it rock drumming
Okay.
because you just got to play what the song requires and how the song should be played. So it's like if we're playing a ballad, like
You're not going to be slamming on.
Beautiful Crazy, I'm not slamming on the drums. I'm doing like literally just a wrist stroke to hit the snare drum.
Right.
You know, if we're playing Beer Never Broke My Heart, yeah, I'm going to hit harder, but it's not like rock drumming. Because I feel like a lot of rock guys use their arms when they play.
Yeah.
Instead of, like, they don't have the best technique.
Right.
Where I grew up studying my instruments. I was 6 years old, taking lessons.
Mhm.
And I took lessons since I was 15 years old from Global's drumming ambassador, who unfortunately passed away last year, named Dom Famularo.
Yeah.
He's taught everyone from Ray Luzier, Kenny Aronoff. He knows everyone. Chad Smith, Billy Cobham. He knew if you were a drummer, a big name drummer, he knew you. You knew him.
Mm-hmm.
And then I studied with his protege whenever Dom was out of the country, because he would travel 2/3 of the year around the world, teaching and educating.
Wow.
Like, I have a map at home with like pins and stuff wherever I've gone, like the U.S. I haven't done it in years. He had a map in his studio. It was covered. You couldn't see it anywhere else but the pins.
It's such a cool way to travel too.
Right?
Like you could tell, like you could pick Dom out in a crowd, just like his personality.
He was always
so
nice to everybody. Even if he didn't know you and you went up and talked to him, he would make the time. Even if he'd like go to a meeting or something like a drum show, he would make it seem like he's known you forever.
Yeah.
Wow.
Always a huge smile on his face, everything like that. Great guy. And then his protege, who I studied with, is named John Favicchia, who's another animal of a drummer.
Yeah.
Just in a crazy way. Great fusion drummer, but can play everything as well. And then I studied with guys in college. Like, my main teacher was a guy named Mark DiCiani, who I'm still very close with. Do you guys know who Ben Vereen is? Or does that name ring a bell? He's like an older guy.
Kind of rings a bell.
He's been playing with him for a very long time. Do you guys know who Jerry Brown is?
Dang it.
No? You gotta look him up. He was Stevie Wonder's longtime drummer.
Okay.
And he's been with Diana Ross for the last like 20 years.
Yeah.
And I got to study with him in college, and he's a good friend. Jimmy Paxson Jr. He was with Stevie Nicks for a long time.
Oh, cool.
And he's been with the Chicks, Charlie Muscle White. I think when the Chicks do go back out, I think he's with them again.
Cool.
But I saw him playing with them years ago when I saw the Eagles in like 2010.
Mm-hmm.
He was playing drums with them, and I was like, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's super cool. And he was playing with the Chicks, and they were opening for the Eagles.
So it was Keith Urban, who I unfortunately missed, because I was bummed about that, because I think Chris McHugh was playing at the time with him. Then the Chicks. Then the Eagles. And it was before Glenn Frey passed.
Wow.
So it was the original band, which was awesome.
Yeah, I bet. Where was that?
MetLife Stadium, where we're
MetLife
playing July 19th and 20th. Semi-hometown show for me.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah, and you're from where originally?
New York.
Oh, yeah, right. You said you grew up in the city, or you were born...
Born in the city, grew up on Long Island.
Gotcha.
But it's just funny, because like, I'm a Giants fan, but they play in Jersey, so people are like giving me crap this weekend. They're like, go Bills. I'm like, I'm a Giants fan. And they're like, it's not even a New York team. I'm like... Yeah, I know. They're based in Jersey, but they're considered New York.
Yeah, everybody
give me all
knows
the
them as a
crap
New
you
York
want.
team.
Fine, I'll take it.
Yeah.
How? I'm so curious about the Dom thing. How long did you study with him?
15 to
Golly.
18, I think. Maybe a little longer. Like whenever I come home from college, if he was in town.
Yeah.
Because I only lived like 15, 20 minutes from him.
Oh, wow.
Which was
really
awesome.
Yeah.
How did that relationship
Start
begin? Yeah.
I saw him do a clinic at Sam Ash. One of my mom's friends was like, hey, you should take Jake to see this guy. He's world renowned. I went, met him, and started taking lessons.
Yeah.
And it was, he, prepped me for college and all that stuff. And he even sent an email to that guy, Mark DiCiani, who I was talking about at the time. Mark was the director of the School of Music. Mm-hmm. So Dom sent them an email saying, hey, one of my students is coming to audition. And if he gets in, I'd love for him to study with you the first 2 years. Mark only did juniors and seniors teaching-wise. I got to study with him my freshman, sophomore year, and then partially also my junior and senior year.
Yeah.
So
That's a hell of a reference call from
right,
him.
yeah,
Totally.
it was cool. It was a lot
That's
of fun.
very cool.
What did you like about his teaching? Like other than his personality and
Oh yeah, I mean he was just very hands-on, like the way he taught. It was
Sure.
great. Of like exercises such as like going through stick control, right?
yeah,
It
sure.
was like take each exercise and just play each one for a minute,
right.
or going through the Jim Chapin book, like one of the jazz books, going
Right.
through that, like play each exercise for 3 minutes and 5 minutes
Yeah.
to really obviously get it down.
Yeah, get
And
into the
then-
micro details. of
Yeah, all the
things.
details. Take
Yeah.
maybe like take a little break and then like go. See if you can do it again without reading the page
Right.
and make sure the muscle memory is there.
Right. I always like that kind of stuff because I teach out of this room. My youngest student is 5, and my oldest is like, he's maybe 65 or so. I don't want to put an age on him, but the youngest students never care about the stick control type
Oh,
stuff.
dude, yeah. I taught a kid a couple of years ago who was 9 years old. He just wanted to fly around the drums. And I was
Totally.
like, no, you got to like
But I
take
think
your time.
I want to learn some fills.
well, yeah, they want to play to like
They just want to play so fast.
Yeah.
yeah, totally fast and loud. I got a kid. His favorite song to play. He's 5 years old. His favorite song to play is "Raining Tacos."
I've
This-
never heard of that.
That's great. That's great news that you've never heard about. It's like a
It's like a
kid's
dumb
song.
little YouTube song.
Oh, well, that's why I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, I'd be
it's a
pretty
kid's song.
surprised if you heard about it. But for him, I feel like it's more like teaching him how to like drums.
You got to make it fun.
You got to make it fun. Yeah, you got to make him like it, make it fun, and then you can be like, okay, take your pointer finger off the stick a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
loosen it up a bit,
Yeah, don't do
move
like
the
a
weight
monkey
in the
grip.
back a little bit. Yeah,
Yep.
that kind of stuff. And then, but then my older student, he came back to me. He's had like 10 surgeries and he's got arthritis and all this stuff. He's like, I just want to be able to still drum. So I'm like, okay, let's go to like what Dom taught you. Like, let's go into, we're going to play single strokes.
Yeah, just take it
You're
easy.
going to feel so dumb practicing, but we're going to play 16th notes.
Or even do
for
the Stone Killer.
What is that?
So you do 50 strokes on each hand, all
Yeah.
the way down to 1, and then back up.
Oh,
Sure.
God.
So you do all the way to 50,
Right.
49, 48,
Good,
47.
yeah, good for your focus too.
Oh my God, yeah. Because
Yeah.
think about it. If you're just doing this slowly, the precision and
Right.
the accuracy you're getting per hand,
Oh, totally.
and then doing it together.
Yeah.
So like the way I warm up on the road, I don't do 50, but I'll do 8 on a hand. So I'll go 1,
Right.
2, whatever, all the way down to 1, same thing.
Right.
Then I'll do it again, but I'll add a double at the end. So when you get back to, when you go down to 1, you're just doing double strokes.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll do like paradiddles, double paradiddles, triples. My favorite rudiment is a paradiddle diddle. So I do that. Flams, flam taps, triplets, double strokes.
Yeah.
So
Is that like your pre-show warm-up?
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll do
Always?
pretty much. It's
Are
been
you
for the last
superstitious
like
about it too? Like if you don't get your,
sort of, yeah. I
if you do
mean,
49 instead of 50, you're gonna have a bad show.
no, I mean, I think I don't have the time to do 50 full strokes to
Yeah.
go all the way down to 1 and then back up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
So,
2 more minutes.
but like, and then I'll do like, just like, loosening up my fingers by doing like the finger technique on both
Yeah.
hands. And then I'll just do that for
Mhm.
whoever can see this.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't do that in the video.
We
but-
might have to cut that out.
It might
Yeah,
look
I would say
suspicious.
so, yeah.
Well, I have a kind of dumb non-drummer question about that. Do you feel like, I mean, obviously you have so many hours upon hours upon hours of practice throughout your whole life, but you still do, these little warm-up routines before a show. Do you feel like that's sort of acts as like insurance for yourself to know that like if I can calibrate basically with these little exercises, I'm probably not going to miss a hit tonight, or I'm not going to, if something goes awry, I'm sure y'all are playing to a click, but
Yes.
yeah. So that's kind of taken out. But like, I don't know. Do you feel like that makes you just more ready to be thinking on the fly in case you drop a stick or whatever? Like, how do you?
I dropped a stick this past weekend,
You did.
and it was just so cold that like it just
Yeah.
slipped out of my hand, and I grabbed another one, and nothing like I didn't stop
Didn't miss a
playing.
beat,
Obviously,
yeah.
I didn't miss
Was
a
that
beat.
Whiskey Jam?
No,
what
this
the
was
show you
during
had
the
hat on?
during the show. The Buffalo Bills hat. That
was
was
that?
Whiskey Jam.
Oh,
Okay.
But I dropped a stick during the actual show because it was just so cold.
yeah.
And I just picked, I think I don't even know which one I dropped, but I just kept on going, playing the groove, and I picked it up in 2 seconds. And just,
Totally.
it's just things you have to be able to do.
Yeah.
But the reason I warm up and stretch is to not cramp up, not tense up. When you're playing a show like that, you have to obviously pace yourself with energy and all that stuff, and
Right.
how hard you're hitting compared to how soft you're hitting. And, I drink a lot of water throughout the day. I think warming up, just getting loose is important.
Yeah.
I think you got to get the blood flowing. If you don't, you're going to hurt a lot.
Yeah. For
So,
sure.
That's one of the reasons why I do it. And I just like to, what am I doing an
You're
hour
sitting
before the
around.
show? I could either sit around in the green room with the other guys, or I could loosen up and warm up and
Feel ready.
get my head in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, makes sense. How long of a set are y'all doing?
It's close to 2 hours,
Close to 2 hours.
25 songs.
25.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's 2 hours is a stretch for sure. Or like a
It's fun, though. It goes by a lot faster than you think.
really.
bet.
I guess when you're playing the show, yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Well, I
it does
bet
that
for
for
the
the crowd,
audience,
too.
too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. They're all excited and
Did you did the Broadway stuff
Mm-hmm.
here for a little bit too?
When I first moved here,
Yeah. Because, I'm wrong about it, but I always thought that's how you met Luke.
no.
Yeah. I don't know why I think that.
I started playing Broadway the middle of my second week in town,
Yeah.
which is wild.
Was it the classic story like you walk downtown and someone lets you sit in, or?
Sort of.
Yeah.
There was an alumni that I got put in touch with from college through Mark, and she said to me, "Hey, I'm going to a party on Music Row. Come meet me there so you can meet people." So I said, "Sure." This was like my second day in town.
Mm-hmm.
Talked to everybody, introduced myself, met a drummer. He said, "Hey, I'm playing downtown tonight. Come sit in." I did. While I played, a very inebriated bass player walked in, which I didn't know. And I got off stage, and he came up to me and said, "Hey, is this your gig?" I said, "No, I just moved here yesterday." He said, "Well, our drummer's leaving. We're auditioning people tomorrow. Come audition." I did. About an hour later, I got a text or a phone call saying I got the gig. This was still my
first week.
First week, third day in town.
That's crazy.
It's like, come to the rest of the shows this week, sit in, all that stuff, and then sit in the beginning of next week, and you start next Wednesday. Cool.
Wow.
Okay. So I did.
Wow.
And I did that
That's
for about
nuts.
5 months. And then when I first came to visit Nashville, there's a store in the Gulch that is no longer there called Two Old Hippies. But I was talking to this guy who was working there, who's a drummer, and we exchanged info. He said, "Hey, when you get here, we'll get coffee." I did. 5 months into me being here, he left a gig that was a good foot in the door, not like a major touring gig, but it was something. He said, "Hey, come audition for this gig. I think you'd be a great fit. It's nothing major, but it's touring experience." Did that audition. About an hour later, I got a phone call. "Hey, you got the gig." I left Broadway. Did that for about 6-7 months. That was kind of going towards the tail end as that time was approaching, and I was wanting to do something more anyway with people more my own age. And I was taking a couple lessons with Jim Riley. And I told him, like, "Hey, I left this gig. I want to play with some more my own age. What should I do?" He said, "Go to writers' rounds. All writers, or some writers, are trying to be artists, and just go and network." So I went, didn't know anyone at Tin Roof on Numbrian. Walked in, was just like, okay, well, let's see what happens, whatever. And I got there right time. It's like right time, right place, all that stuff. And it was one person playing, and then him playing. I didn't know anyone there. Once again, I was looking at their backs, and I heard him play his last song, and I thought, wow, this guy's really good. And I really liked his voice, and I really liked the song too.
Yeah.
So when he was done packing up his guitar, I just went over and talked to him. I just said, hey, man, I really liked your song, and I really, really liked your voice. He said, thanks, man. What do you do? I said, I play drums. I said, I went to college for music. And he said, that's awesome. He likes to tell the story differently. But he said, well, I have a gig next week. I really need a drummer.
Yeah.
Do you want to do it? I said, sure. So I said, please send me your material. He did. We did the audition. Not audition. I guess we did the rehearsal / my audition, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of days later, so I did all my homework, charted everything out. I was the first one there 30 minutes early with all my stuff set up, ready to go.
That's right.
So when everyone else got there, it's like, hey, this guy's prepared.
That's right.
Yeah.
Played the first few songs. I think we just played everything, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did the gig. It was at a frat house at the University of Alabama. I was the only one without a wedge. Made it through. And then he and I hung out once a week for that next month, like every week, to get to know each other's, play video games and all that stuff. And then about a month went by. I think he was just writing. And then he called me and said, hey, I want you to be my guide. Do you want to do this full time? I said, yeah. So I haven't missed a show since November of 2014.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool, dude.
That's so cool.
It's wild.
Yeah.
So when you were coming out of college, or in college, were your sights set on Nashville originally, or was that something you kind of came to decide towards the end there when you were getting out?
So while I was in college, like probably the beginning of my senior year, my dad was talking to one of his friends, and my dad's friend was the president, then CEO of Wind Up Records. But my dad's friend signed Creed.
Oh, wow.
Oh, cool.
He, essentially owned the label that Creed, Seether, Finger 11, Evanescence, OAR, Cartel, all these other bands were on.
Yeah.
And he said, Jake wants to continue to pursue drumming and try to really do this. He's got to check out Nashville. So we went to check it out. I fell in love with it. And what I fell in love with was the Broadway scene. I was like, oh my God, there's music almost 24/7. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
And I knew this was where I had to be. Because, when I think of New York, I think of like Broadway acting, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
When you think of LA, you think of movies, Hollywood. Think of Nashville, it's called Music City.
Yeah.
Why
It's in
not
the
just
name.
live in Music City?
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And it's in the center of the country. And
Yeah.
everyone tours from here anyway, or leaves here for tours for the most part.
Yeah.
And everyone records here.
Right.
Yeah.
So why not be where it's happening?
Yeah.
Yeah. So many people, they'll make it, and rather than going to New York or LA, they'll come here, whether they're geographically from near here or they don't want to deal with LA traffic or whatever. It seems like it attracts so many people, even outside of country.
Oh, yeah.
Rock
People are moving
all-
here left and right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's also kind of that fact. The fact that a lot of people are moving here is kind of like you want to be where other people are, where other people are going to, because it's kind of the lore, or it's kind of the word on the street that everybody's leaving California.
Or,
They're trying to come to here.
people from Texas are moving here. People from New York are moving here. People are
Yeah,
buying
I'm from
houses
Texas.
sight unseen. Where are you from, Texas?
Houston.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's actually where our tour ends. August 9th and 10th. We're playing NRG Stadium.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. We have y'all done the rodeo there
Yep.
before? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Used to go every year.
Yeah, that was
as
a
kid.
blast. We did that don't quote me, either 2018 or 19.
Okay.
And it was so much fun.
My dad's a 30-year decorated rodeo committee member.
Is he really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
He was on the parade committee for a while, and
Oh.
now he actually does artist relations stuff. He
Wait,
helps.
has he ever actually done the rodeo? Like ridden the...
Oh no, no, he's not a
see
cowboy.
it.
My dad is not as much as he would like to say that he is. He's not a cowboy. He's just on the rodeo committee, so he helps. They have like a big volunteer force of people, and my grandpa did it for years, and so my dad and uncle have done it since since before I was born. Since
That's
they were in,
awesome.
like high school. Yeah.
That's super
So
cool.
It was so cool to do. Too.
yeah, it's awesome. It's a big event every year. And they do the boat show too. We used to, as kids, we used to go climb on the biggest boat we could find in there and go find the most expensive boat and go climb on it.
Daddy, bring this home.
Yeah, Dad,
But we're not boat people.
Yeah, we could be. It's like, come on, Dad, it's only 400,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that
No
what our
biggie.
house is worth?
You're on the committee.
Yeah, you're on the committee. They could get you a discount. Yeah, I was backstage for the funniest like artist rodeo committee memory I have was being backstage for Justin Bieber and not being happy about it because I was like
that's
13. I was like, why couldn't I come to a band that I liked?
Yeah. This sucks,
He's like,
Dad.
this is so stupid, Dad.
You're so highly decorated and you took me to the one that I don't want to go to.
It's because my little sister wanted to see him, so that was.
She's like, Dad, can I stay home?
Yeah. He's like, come on, you can come backstage. And I was like, all right, fine. Go eat the leftovers from the catering or whatever.
Hopefully there's still like good food up there for you, not leftovers.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I
right.
think y'all will get the good stuff for sure. I will not have picked away at it. Well, that'll be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah,
that's a huge stadium. It holds like 75,000 people.
It's crazy.
Golly.
I mean, Houston. People don't realize how big Houston is. It's the 4th largest city in the
Is it
country.
really?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah, and nobody knows that. It's because it goes L.A., New York, Chicago, us. And then if you take Dallas and you take the whole metro area of Dallas, they're bigger. But the Houston city limits are bigger than the Dallas city limits.
So
yeah.
Dallas, that stadium's massive too.
Yeah.
Because we kicked our tour off
The
there
Cowboy
last year.
Stadium?
That's where we started our tour last year. We did one show there. It was huge. And then in 2021, we played the halftime show at the Thanksgiving game there.
Whoa.
That was cool.
I bet that was cool.
Yeah.
What's the biggest like crowd you've ever
Played to?
played to?
So 2021, we did the Daytona 500. But it was
bet
like
that was
right
huge.
after COVID, so I don't think they let as many people in. So they had us back again for 2022. From what I was told, there was 130,000 people. But you can't see all them. So it's like,
Right.
this is super cool. But when you can't see everybody, it's like,
Yeah.
It doesn't feel as big.
it doesn't feel as big.
A
Like they're
blur.
there. They might be drunk in their trailer,
Yeah.
but they're there.
They're there. they're in their RVs in the infield.
Which was cool.
You may not know it.
We did a festival. It's like our first time in Quebec. I think it was last year.
Oh, Quebec, that's fun.
No, it was 2 years ago, I think. 70,000 people. They've never, I don't think, had a country artist come play. Or if they did, it was years ago.
Yeah, French speaking mostly, right?
I think they
correct.
sang in English. But yes, French speaking mostly. But I
Yeah.
think they sang those songs in
Yeah.
English.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they started singing in French, I'd be like, this is cool, but
Maybe a little
it's not
lost.
Take a
helpful.
lot of mental effort
Yeah.
to figure that out.
Wow. So, have you ever been? This is gonna sound like such a noob question, but
It's
like,
okay.
playing in a stadium. I guess the first thing that comes to my mind is like the noise of the crowd has to be just completely overwhelming. I'm sure you've got in-ears, so it's not
Oh, yeah.
like nearly. But have you ever walked out with your in-ears popped out and just been like, holy shit, like.
There's been a couple times where I'll take an ear out
Mm-hmm.
when the crowd sings Hurricane a cappella, like the last chorus before I hit the kick drum 4 times to bring us back in.
Yeah.
And thank goodness we play to a click because, you're hearing it from out there.
There's a delay.
You got that slap
There's a delay
on-
or whatever, but also like they don't hear the clicks, so they're sometimes
They're
a beat off.
Yeah.
So I usually don't take an ear out anymore.
Yeah.
I don't really have the time to be like, put it back in. I'm
Totally.
like, heck no. Like, you got to be on it.
Yeah.
So, but the few times I have, it's been pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, they with stadiums that big, they have to delay certain monitors as the farther back you get.
Really?
They actually have them on a millisecond, however many millisecond delay, so that the sound coming from the stage and the sound being projected out hits you at the same time.
Right.
It's like it's that big. That
Wow.
that it starts.
That's crazy.
Physical distance actually comes into play.
Yeah.
And they have to.
I mean, there were people standing on like the top of the stadium 2 nights ago and the night before, and I'm like, it's freezing and windy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
But
in
they're
the
up there
nosebleeds.
just like literally standing above the nosebleeds.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, what's going on?
How long has Luke been playing? Like, when was his first album?
Oh, he put out an EP before his first actual record.
Yeah.
Believe don't quote me on it.
Yeah.
I think his first record, you know,
Let's look it
that'll
up.
be something we have to look up. I think it was like 20,
I'm on it.
He's on it.
could have been 2013, 2014 maybe.
Okay. Because I feel like it's just like, that's not...
Like EP, not full length.
Yeah, not a full thing. EP, maybe it was before he was signed.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
But it's like...
I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on that as well.
There's a 3-song EP, The Way She Rides, in 2016.
Yeah, that.
2016.
That could have been it.
But it's...
With Let the Moon Shine and... Right? No?
Let's see.
It's got to be crazy
Yep.
to get that big that fast. Because that's not a lot of
He
time.
writes good songs.
Yeah, and that'll
And he's got
do it.
an amazing voice.
I'm thinking just like his life has got to be crazy, like ramping up that fast. Like,
Yeah,
You
I'm
were there
sure it's a
for it,
lot.
so.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure it's definitely a lot. You know, and you know,
yeah,
I was obviously there for all of it, which is
yeah,
cool.
sure.
But like, none of us. I don't think we're. You know, I think we all just kind of took it like by stride.
Yeah,
Um,
stair stepping. Yeah,
Yeah, and it was like it slowly grew and grew and grew, and
right.
then,
Yeah, what was
you
it?
know, we
like?
all grew together. Like, I shouldn't say we all. Myself, him, and our band leader grew together.
Yeah,
And then like we added a utility guy in 2017 who he's known since like 2014 or 13, and all that stuff. And but I don't know if anyone ever really. I don't think anybody can expect, if it's any artist, to get to the level of headlining stadiums. I think that's such a rarity. Like,
Sure.
but the only people are doing it aside from him are Morgan, Taylor,
yeah,
and Chesney.
Yeah.
Unless I'm missing somebody. Oh, Ed.
sure.
But like, other than that, who else is headlining stadiums?
Yeah,
You know, you
Yeah.
saw like the Motley Crue tour last year, but that's like all of their legacy acts, like
Right.
Joan Jett, Poison. I don't. I'm blanking on the other person
I
besides
can't
Motley
remember.
Crue.
But yeah, they had to bring
But
a lot
yeah,
of people
they brought
together.
like other heavy hitters for that.
right.
Right.
But it's like these people are selling out stadiums with just them, their name alone. Obviously,
that's a
having the
good point,
openers
too.
help, but like everyone's primarily, I would think, there to see the headliner.
Mhm.
Same with a festival.
Yeah,
You go to a
most of
festival, I think, people want to see these other acts, but they're going to see the headliner.
Yeah, you pick a day for the
Yeah.
festival based on who's headlining that night.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that actually kind of brought up a question for me. We were talking about Luke and where he came from, and you got in with him after meeting him at a writer's round. What's your perspective on the place that writers' rounds hold in the wider music scene, and you know what they can do or can't do for an up and coming artist? Do you see it as something that's kind of an old school method of getting discovered, or is it what you make of it? You know, what do you think the writers' round serves as a purpose?
Well, I think it's great for not just writers, but for people like myself and basically the band people who are considered sidemen.
Right.
Yeah.
Because obviously, yes, it's all about who you know on how to get a gig. But also, in my case, you go to a writer's round, you don't know anybody. You meet these artists. Look, one obviously happened to be like, hey, I need a drummer for a gig. Do you want to play?
Right.
You know, like I think they're great because if artists are trying to tour and all that stuff and they don't have musicians, right? If a guitar player or a bass player go to one of these and, you know, they meet the artist and it's like, oh, I really like your stuff. What do you do? Well, what do you do? And it's like, oh, I need a guitar player. Well, cool, let's jam. See if it clicks.
Right.
And if it does, cool. If not, okay. You know, you tried and all that stuff. But I think they're just good networking.
Mhm.
You know, and even like, you know, you talk about teaching and like, I know you have this room for if you want to like cut drums or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
you go to them and the artist is like, hey man, I need drums cut. Oh, cool. I have a room if you need
Right.
me to cut it or whatever, the space, or if you're like, oh, I track drums from my house.
Right.
Cool. Well, I'd love to use you. Perfect. It's networking in that way, not just getting a gig, but it could be like
All
session
sorts of
work,
things.
Yeah.
Mixing and
everything.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such a cool city for it too, because I think because Nashville's so communal, it's built into the system.
Oh, definitely. So I think writers' rooms are fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reason I asked that question is I have kind of wondered. I like writers' rounds. I go to them. I've definitely, same as you, like met people there that I've networked with. And so there's, one thing that I've always kind of wondered about is maybe it used to be more of a medium of getting sort of quote unquote discovered, but maybe these days it serves more of a purpose for artists to sort of interface with one another, as opposed to I'm going to go play this writer's round and some A&R is going to like hear me. And I'm sure it's possible and I'm sure it happens.
Oh,
but
yeah. I mean, I also think for writers' rounds, more so for the writers who, if they are trying to be artists or just writers, right?
Mhm.
Say they're playing around with people they don't know.
Yeah.
And it's like they like their writing style and vice versa. Then they can go into a room and write a song and you never know what's going to happen to it either. It could blow
True.
up.
Right.
Someone could cut it. One of those people can cut it and it could help take their career to the next stepping stone. So I think it's really cool in that regard for writers as well, not just as musicians.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fun to go to. You hear a song and you're like, that's a really good song. And then like a year later, you can hear it on the radio and be like, I remember going to that writer's round and hearing that song before it was nothing.
Yeah.
It's cool to see.
That's super
It is cool to see.
It's cool to see the room, like it'll go like totally silent for a good song, and then maybe the next song comes on, they're not
And
too,
people are talking.
people start, the crowd gets a little louder.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's like, it's cool to see what's getting people's reactions, and it's not always like the best singer or best guitar player in the room that's getting people to go quiet. It's the best song, it's the best story. It's like,
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
totally.
which always blows my mind with like the A&R people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how did some of the songs that they pick? It's like I never would have thought that would have been like a charter.
Yeah.
But like, how did you pick that song? And it's like it's a number one hit. They
Yeah.
got that fine tuned.
They got the ear for it.
Sixth sense to be able to know
Yeah.
what's gonna work and what's not. But it's cool.
Yeah. So when you from that first meeting to like playing y'all's first full band shows, how long of a period was that between like the writers rounds and then we have a band, we're gonna go play this full band gig now?
I mean, from the writers' round to the first show was like a week.
Oh wow! So did he have other? He already had other guys. That
He
were
had a
ready?
band leader, and like there was a bass player that he knew that brought in the other guitar player, who's now our band leader.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So there's only
So
five
that
of
was
us.
very
Yeah,
quick.
very quick.
Where-
But then the bass player, he has a duo with his wife, so he decided to step back and do that.
Gotcha.
Then we had a different bass player, and then things he didn't pan out, and we had another one, and he was great, and for certain reasons, I don't need to say them, but he decided to just did not pan out with how he
Yeah.
wanted it to.
Yeah.
And then we have our guy now,
Yeah.
Matt.
Matt,
Yeah.
who was on
It's a good fit.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what you and Matt are doing, I think is so cool.
Thanks.
Like with
The
You-
clinics.
the clinics, and like both of you are so willing to do stuff like this. And
Well,
like
I think it's important. It gets your name out there more, and it's like, we just love doing this type of stuff.
it shows. Yeah.
Podcasts are they're fun.
Yeah.
like-
Yeah.
And then the clinics are a blast because we get to educate to not just one person, and it's not like one-on-one. Like, oh, here's how you play a paradiddle. It's like we give the little nuggets of like the importance of networking, how to get and keep a gig, the importance of playing to a click.
Right.
Be nice to everybody at the venue, even the people who are sweeping the floors.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just be a good person.
Yeah.
That's right.
And if you want to really pursue your musical dreams, you got to be here.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be in somewhere in Canada, potentially in like the middle of nowhere, thinking, I'm going to go do this. Well, you got to go and move to where it's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, the effort has to be in there.
Oh, 100%. And,
Input for output.
you know, we love doing the clinic stuff, and we've already had 2 so far this year, but the way it kind of happened was I was doing some clinics in 2019, and I did a couple others in 2022, and I remember we were in Denver. I did one at, I think it was Denver Percussion.
That's right, with Josh.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And Matt was like, oh, where are you going? And I was like, I'm going to do a drum clinic. He goes, oh, cool. He goes, I didn't know you do clinics. He goes, well, I do them too. I've done them. You know, I've gone to many as well.
Yeah.
We've gone to clinics together.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And he was like, hey, like, do you think it'd be cool if like we did them together? And just the light bulb went off in my head. Obviously, business wise, I was like, no one's doing rhythm section clinics.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No
and we
one's doing
feed questions off each other,
Mm-hmm.
or people will be like, how'd you get into just music? How did you get into music? How did you get the gig? How did you get the gig? When did you start playing your instrument and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Like at this one we just did Saturday, this guy had asked Matt, funny enough, he was the drum teacher at the school, but he asked Matt first this question. He said, how many basses do you have? And then he asked me, he goes, how many snare drums do you have? How many drum sets do you have?
Yeah.
How many cymbals do you have? And it was cool because it was
Yeah.
like, that's not a question you typically are thrown at.
Yeah.
Of how much gear do you have? And I'm like, more than I need.
Yeah.
And I'm not planning on buying any more for a long time.
Sure.
But it's a relevant question because when you're a
But
amateur
it's also like what you're doing for a living. It's
Yeah.
your living.
That's right.
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
like,
you need
well-
to have the right tools.
yeah,
That's
like,
right. Yeah.
It's
what
like if
would
you're
I
a
need
contractor,
if I were to
you
do what
need the
you're
right
doing?
tools.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
totally.
I think
Like this is one of 18 snare drums that I have.
but
It's a
they
tool.
all serve a purpose.
They all serve a
Yeah.
purpose and they're all different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One is a Phillips screwdriver.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
Yep.
They're all doing their own thing. But I think because you guys are so willing to do stuff like this, it's not only cool that you guys are doing it because you are kind of big deals around this town. And
Oh,
as
come on, stop it. We're just normal people.
you are, but what you're doing is a big deal. That's the way I see it. And I was telling Matt when he was on the podcast, like, you're never sure how people are gonna act when, you know, like when they get the big gig.
Yeah.
It's like I wasn't sure if he was gonna show up in like a fur coat or like any think he's
Him?
think
No.
he's
Did he show up in Crocs?
he didn't do Crocs.
Oh. Did he have his blue running shoes on?
I don't know what his shoes
Yeah,
were.
I think he did.
Yeah.
Was it?
Black jogger type pants?
Yeah.
Yep. Was he wearing a brown leather jacket?
No, I think he was just in a.
Or is it a Music
like
Man
a-
sweatshirt?
Yeah. It's a,
Yeah.
it's a
Yep.
sweatshirt.
I know his attire
the
to a
zippo-
T.
Yeah,
the
you
zippo
sure do.
hoodie.
Oh, yeah.
That's so
Yep.
funny.
Every time he comes to my house, it's those shoes, a black pants.
Totally.
the
And that,
uniform.
oh, dude, yeah.
That's so.
And
funny.
sometimes he'll have a brown leather jacket on top.
Totally.
But like,
Oh,
the-
he
the
wore the leather
daily-
jacket for the clinic.
yeah,
I think that's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
funny.
But it's cool that where you guys are, where you are right now, you're doing
Fur
this
coat.
kind of stuff.
Where are we? Like Buffalo, New York?
But you're also giving a good message for the people coming up too. The
Yeah, I think
next-
that's important. You
Yeah.
know, to me, I don't care what size gig you're on. Just don't have any ego.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because, like, you know, it's been said over countless years, you can be the best player in wherever you're living.
Mhm.
But if you have an awful attitude and just not a good hang, no one's going to want to work with you.
It
Yeah.
ruins the whole thing.
It does.
Yeah.
I mean, think about for how many minutes or hours you're on stage. Then think about how many hours you're off stage.
Right.
Or in a van or in a bus or whatever the case may be, whatever you're traveling in. You're in that setting off stage way longer than you are on stage.
Yeah.
And if you can't hang and get along with everybody, you're the problem.
You just
Not
stay in
them.
your room the rest
Yeah.
of the tour.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
no. They'll just find someone who actually
Yeah.
fits in.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's why it's always important. Like, be funny, be a good hang. Like,
Yeah.
you know, if you get the brunt of the jokes picked on you, which is sometimes, a lot of times me, you're like sometimes mad, or it goes around and we all love each other.
Yeah.
But just take it.
Yeah.
You know? Like, who cares?
Yeah.
You know, you get to do what you love for a living, and it's a family for all of us.
Yeah. My dad tells the story of, I'm going to say it wrong, but it's like before a Van Halen show. The warm-up people before Van Halen, the guitar player's like going up to Eddie Van Halen, and he's like, "This is a horrible venue. The monitors don't work. Like, my guitar tech is doing this. This sucks. I can't believe we're doing this." And then Eddie turns to him and he's like, then go home and sell donuts.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
You're on a stadium tour right now. Like, what's
Yeah.
what's the
Be
big
great.
deal?
Be
The
grateful.
monitor mix.
Yeah. Go home and sell some donuts. That was the quote.
You know, it's like you brought up the Whiskey Gym that we just played on Saturday.
Yeah.
We were all on wedges. We didn't care. We were just having a blast.
Yeah.
It was freezing cold. We played that show, which we had an absolute amazing time.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got to play our regular show. And we had the best time.
Yeah.
Even though it was cold, we had the best time.
Yeah.
I think it's very important. I find myself doing this all the time, and I'm not even full time with mixing or anything yet, but I still think about just like the way that I have set up my schedule, what I'm able to do, how I'm able to always be able to fit things in where I need them to. And I get so caught up in like, oh, I'm so like, there's all this bullshit going on. I'm so like get pissed off about whatever random trivial things. And then you have to take a step back sometimes and be like, you know what? I'm like pursuing exactly what I want to pursue. I'm doing, I have a roof over my head. I'm having a good time. I'm working on music every day. Like,
and
what am I mad
everyone's
about?
journey either has a different path or it takes a different amount of time per person. And that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we have amazing acts out with us both nights. And I'm good friends with a lot of the guys and a lot of the bands on Saturday nights. And in Milwaukee, the second night, I was hanging out with my buddies. He plays for Mitchell, Tenpenny. And he was like, "Hey, dude, come on the bus." I was like, "Okay." Like, I've known Mitchell for a long time, too. And, Mitchell's like, "Dude, let's do a shot like the old days." Because he and I used to go and hang out, like at Tin Roof, just to, like, listen to music and drink. And Mitchell was like, "To the biggest effing drummer there is right now, blah, blah." And I'm like, "Dude, come on, stop it." Like, it's just like, I know he obviously meant it because he's a good dude, but it's like, I just want to take a shot because I love y'all.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's not about,
I've known his drummer for 10 years. I've known Mitchell for at least 8.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just cool. Like, Jimmy is his drummer, Jimmy Elcock.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just talking outside the bus, and we were just like, man, it's crazy how far we both have come since we've known each other.
Totally.
And it's just cool. Like, I mean, he's been on their gigs and all that stuff. And, I'm so happy for him that he's found an artist that he feels really at home with and all that stuff. And, it's just cool, and to be able to tour with, like, obviously you have your road family who is literally like your family.
Totally.
And then you have some of your best friends who are out on tour with you.
Mm-hmm.
It's the coolest thing.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. Someone, I think it was earlier, asked me, I was golfing with a buddy earlier, and he was like, "What do you like more, like your stadium shows or playing festivals?" And I said I like them both. I just love to play, but our stadium shows are obviously a lot of fun because everyone is obviously there to see him.
Yeah. You're the main
And,
event.
we are just pieces of the cog that make it work, which is awesome. But, like, a lot of his, I'm sure they're all his fans. But it's like diehard fans know who the band is, too.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, wow. Like, it's like, I just always wanted to play drums.
Right.
The first time I ever saw Ringo on the Ed Sullivan Show, I was like, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
I was like 5 when my dad showed me that.
Yeah. But and you developed drumming skills and personal skills.
You have to.
That-
I think it's so I think it'd be much more challenging to be introverted
It'd be pretty hard.
and be able to go out and network.
Yeah, gotta
Yeah.
dig into the YouTube world then.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
Instagram, but it's like,
Yeah.
I just think,
Or try to get over your introversion.
yes.
If you can, yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like that'd be really difficult. And I'm grateful that I'm not that way, but I feel bad for people who are.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
But also, I'm sure there's plenty of people who are on great gigs, and they shine when they're on stage, or
Yeah.
they shine when they're around the people they feel comfortable with,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
I like that.
It was hard to like answer his question of, do you like festivals, or I guess our stadium shows more. And I said I like them both, because with the festivals, you get to see people that you don't get to see often.
Yeah.
And then with your shows, you obviously know who's on tour with you, and you get to hang out with them and build more of a relationship with them every weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just met the drummer on Friday who plays for the Ava Brothers, Mike Marsh.
Mhm.
They did a couple shows with us last year, but our paths never got to cross. He was the original drummer for Dashboard Confessional.
Oh, wow.
And like, we hit it off and all that stuff. And then he played, I have an electronic drum set, because we have a rehearsal room
Mm-hmm.
when we're able to set it up. And I'm with this company called Gava Digital Drums, made in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
And he was telling me, oh, like when we do warm-ups, I play brushes on like a little pad or whatever. I was like, dude, come check this out. He did. He fell in love with it. And I was like, I'll reach out to my rep right now, put you guys in a group text. And literally 5 minutes later, it's like, boom, done.
That's awesome.
So,
That's cool.
yeah.
But I'm thinking like, the way you and
Matt.
Matt, thank you.
All good.
But you guys are good at your instrument, and you're good with people, and
We try.
it works. And the way about you guys, with all that involved, like, you could make it work with any gig, right? Like, it's like a deeper kind of thing. Like, it's cool that it's turned out the way that it has for you guys, but eventually, if you have that seasoning, that deck of cards, all those different things, you're able to be good with people and play drums that well. Like,
Oh, yeah.
it was gonna work eventually.
Yeah.
Whether it
just
was
took
Luke
time.
Combs or
So,
whether
like,
it was
I don't know. I mean, sure, when you had Matt and Seth here, you guys mostly talked about the book. But did Matt tell you how he and I met?
did he? I almost
Oh,
feel
I
like
feel like he.
well, he said
He
you
definitely
met
told
on-
us a few, like, how he met people's stories. Maybe it was how he told us how he met Seth.
Well, he said you guys met on Sound Better.
Jam card.
Jam Card. That's all he said, though. I think.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't
If I'm
think he
not
went into
mistaken.
super deep detail on that.
So I
Yeah.
can I do like a quick little
Please,
how
go
he
for
and
it.
I met.
Yeah.
So we met. One of us posted on Jam Card of like, hey, whoever wants to get coffee. I think I wrote that. And he was coming. He was still living in Oklahoma, coming back and forth to town. So we got coffee. This is just a year before anything, and hit it off with stuff going on in life, music, all that stuff, just personality wise.
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward a year later, like, we're still chatting and stuff, and our previous bass player, who is a wonderful human being and all of the pieces, that all happened, and our band leader, we didn't have time to audition a bass player, and he was like, hey, it's between these two guys. And he called each of us that night and said, hey, between these two guys, who would you choose? And Matt, 15 years prior, was playing bass for our band leader.
Oh, really?
And so they kind of already had they knew each other, and, they haven't spoken like a lot, but they were going back and forth, and he'd be like, hey man, congrats on everything, yada, yada. And so when I got the call of like, hey, you got to choose between these two guys, who would you choose? And I said, well, not just because you two have had a relationship 15 years ago and played together, but he and I got coffee a year ago and we hit it off. Mm-hmm. And I said, I just really like this personality. I said, I've never seen either of the guys play live that I can recall. And I just thought, I think he's just a good fit.
Yeah.
I think he would be a good hang. And, you've played with him before. So, and he came in and knew the tunes, like how you should play them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I'd be so.
and we all get along really well.
Yeah.
You know, he and I, like everyone in the band, you know, is like brothers.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, you know, I drove him. He parked at my house for a bus call because we had something previously we had to do. So I drove him back to my house. We got lunch yesterday, and then he obviously went home. But we talk almost every day for the most part, whether it's like clinic stuff or just like checking in type of deal.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, whether or not you're on the same gig, like it's just good to have someone like that.
Oh, yeah.
It's just fun to have.
I mean,
Life is better with it.
I would do anything for anybody on our crew.
Yeah.
Like, I would give the shirt off my back immediately.
Yeah.
Then I would freeze, but that's okay.
pull a Bert Kreischer for the show.
I pulled a Bert Kreischer Saturday night, actually.
Oh, really?
Before the show, we're all hanging, whatever, and Luke says to me, "Hey, will you take your shirt off for the encore? And it's 2 songs." And I said, "Yeah, why not? I've done it before."
Shirt off my back.
And it was, it's freezing cold outside. It's like 40 degrees or below.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
And somehow our keys player got roped in as well, and I loved it. We got up there. We got off stage, and I'm wearing like 2 long sleeves, a sweatshirt, and then one of our buddies, he's the long snapper for the Dolphins, and his brother is the long snapper for the Bills.
Wow.
So I was wearing his jersey.
Yeah.
Because it said his number is 69.
That's awesome.
It's great.
So I'd take all that off, make sure I got my ears back on.
Smart.
And Luke was like, "Hey, you 2 guys go out first." So we go out there and we look at each other because I'm here, he's there. And we're like, "Yeah." And in that moment, I'm like, flashback to like, remember the movie The Mighty Ducks?
Yeah.
The Bash Bros, like when they do something cool, they're pumped up.
Yeah.
I felt like that, but just obviously doing music.
Yeah.
Like we're just there shirtless on stage. And I'm like, this is hilarious. And I
That
love
was
it.
your Mighty Ducks moment.
That was my Mighty Ducks moment.
Everybody needs a Mighty Ducks moment in their life. Life isn't complete without one.
But I was warm because I was moving the entire time. He was not so warm.
Right.
Well, I was gonna ask that, like, you know, like if you play at a theater, like,
Oh, dude, I've gone shirtless in Paris.
yeah,
I've gone shirtless I've played shirtless so many times.
Yeah.
I played Beautiful Crazy shirtless, and that was awkward. I'm like, you're playing a slow song shirtless, and you're just like,
It doesn't feel as fun anymore.
well, no, it's still fun, but it's just like you're the only dude on stage shirtless.
it's not like Hurricane or something. Like,
No. And I
Right.
played that song. We were out with Brantley Gilbert in 2017,
Yeah.
and it was the last show. And, you know, people prank each other, right?
Yeah.
The other act was Tucker Bethard, and his guys took my riser and spun it 180. So I had my back to the crowd playing Hurricane. So I'm like this the entire time.
Do you need cues or anything?
I just
like-
was looking on
Yes.
like this, and I'm like,
Visually.
okay, like the song is ending, like. Someone spin me the back around, please. But that didn't happen. That was the last song on the set. So, but like there was another time they put baby powder all over my cymbals and snare
Oh,
drum.
nice.
So like, it was also during Hurricane. I was like, shh, God, and like it just went
Powder
everywhere. Also on the Brantley tour.
That's pretty great.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Can you feel the lights when you're doing a stadium show?
Yeah, you know, funny enough, I feel like, I guess as I've matured as a player, and every year I always try to make sure my setup is as ergonomic as possible and I'm comfortable, as comfy as possible. So the first weekend was in Milwaukee, and it was indoors. And I have a fan behind me, and I usually put it on 1.
Yep.
And obviously this weekend we were in Buffalo, no fan needed.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Heater
But
needed.
well, if you put heaters on stage, it detunes the guitars, so you can't have that,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
heat the wood expands.
But okay, taking out the Buffalo weekend because it was so cold. The first week in Milwaukee, I just didn't sweat. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's, and I'm moving a lot, and I have
Yeah.
a fan behind me, but I'm not like dripping in sweat like some people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I wish I was like sweating a lot.
Yeah.
So like, I know I'm doing the work, and I know like I'm burning
Right, what's
calories, but
wrong?
why aren't I drenched?
Yeah.
I move the most, aside from people walking around on stage. But
Yeah.
like, I'm not running up and down the thrust, but I'm moving.
It's a strange superpower.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. we're interrupting the podcast because we want to show you kind of what's really going on here at Garden Groove. This is a place where people can come in, record podcasts like we're doing now, but we can also record full bands in here. We've also had some people record just drum content or just drum tracks. So there's all sorts of options here, and that's kind of where Jackson comes in.
How's it going, everybody? I'm Jackson Maddox. I am the head audio engineer here at Garden Groove. So we have a lot of great gear now that we are really, really excited to share. The sound in the room is awesome. We've been recording bands in here. We've had people come in and do drum cover videos. And the way that this studio is laid out is so that you can come in here and feel like you can do whatever you can imagine in here. So we would love for you to bring in your next project, whatever that may be, and we would love to just be a part of that and help you out.
And if you also just want to hang out, we're doing monthly master classes. That's every last Monday of the month. So every month we're going to feature a new artist and entrepreneur in Nashville, diving into different Ableton things, diving into different photography and all sorts of different stuff. So you can check that out on all of our socials, and it'd be good to meet you all. And have a good day. And
Signing off. That was good.
Also, if you ever need if you guys ever do a Creed cover band, the guys love when I sing Creed and I can play drums at the same time.
That's so funny because me and my roommate were literally talking about making like a Creed record, like just writing
Really?
a record as if we
you
were
just
Creed.
spoke it
I
into
love
existence.
it. Well, if you,
I mean, I can
not
see a
opposed.
partnership forming here because
love it.
me and my roommate, we only make stupid music together.
butt rock.
Yeah, so we're trying to make a butt rock band. And we're like, we could write that so easily. Like we could totally just get in the mindset. Like
Yep.
she took the kids. I wear a wife beater every day. That's like that's what I wear. I go to Applebee's and flirt with the waitress. You know, like
Yeah,
that's
really
I'm putting
method
myself
acting.
in the method acting. And then you're like, okay, now I'm that guy. Now let's write a song.
Yeah.
What does that guy feel
yeah,
like?
the lights are dimmed.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
This will be a great project.
I'm chain smoking a pack of Marlboro Reds, and I've got just a 12 pack of what's a good beer?
Miller Lite.
Yeah, just some
when in doubt.
11
When in
beers
doubt.
into a 12 pack of Miller Lite, and I'm.
I could have said
fucking
Guinness,
pissed.
but you'd probably be like full after 2.
Yeah, right. You can't
Yeah.
get 12 into the Guinnesses.
We did have a Guinness podcast.
Yeah, we had a St. Patrick's Day podcast, and we all drink Guinness.
I chugged 8 Guinness in 2 hours when we were
Holy
overseas in
jeez.
2017.
Holy shit!
You lived to tell
Before
the
or
tale.
after the show?
Oh, definitely after. Definitely not before. Are you kidding me? I don't drink. The only time I drink before a show is when we do our like little pre-show shot.
Yeah.
Other than that, I have 2 waters next to me. Actually, I only took like 2
Smart.
sips of it on the Saturday show. I was like, I don't really need the water. It's cold. I'm cold.
Sure.
This is pointless.
Yeah.
Where's my hot chocolate?
Gone are the days of people like downing a bottle of liquor and then just stumbling out on. Well, that's not true, actually.
I mean,
some
but
people,
for the most part, I feel like it is pretty much
for the
going out
most
of
part,
style.
yeah. I feel like that's definitely for the better, probably out.
Yeah.
I know there's some artists. I guess like
Grohl.
some artists have a few. They have
Hey,
a,
Dave Grohl. Does he do that?
Does he?
Oh yeah.
Does he drink heavy before?
I don't know.
I'm sure he has like a beer or 2.
There's like
I didn't know they do a
viral.
shot.
Yeah, there's like viral videos of him like falling off the stage and
Well, that's how he broke his leg. I don't think he like was drunk. I think he like just misstepped.
yeah, I saw one video where he's got a beer in one hand and he's pretty visibly stumbling. It's one show and I'm using that to define every show.
So I've seen them
maybe it's not
twice
true. Yeah.
with Taylor, obviously, before he passed.
Yeah.
One was the Broken Leg tour, where
Oh,
he was in
really?
the chair
Yeah, with the Game of Thrones style.
and the guitars and stuff.
Yeah.
He
I love
still outperformed most people I see.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, he's so
I
talented.
bet.
He's such a great front man
100%.
and just performer. Like he was headbanging in the chair with a broken leg and playing
Totally.
every single part.
Yeah,
Didn't
and
miss a
he's just
beat. Yeah, and I'm like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
life
it's
made.
super cool.
Maybe there's something about broken leg tours. Like we saw was it John with the Red Hot Chili Peppers?
For Shante.
Yeah.
Did he have a broken leg?
He did. When we saw him, he had a broken leg. It was
What
on
year
the,
was that? I saw them when they came to Nissan 2 years ago.
When was it? It was before
He was not
that.
broken then.
It was the I'm With You tour, I think.
Oh.
Way long ago. I was in like
Okay.
high school or something.
Oh wow!
But he was in a chair for like part of it, the legs out, and then he would get up and like he's moving around with a broken leg.
That's
pretty
awesome.
good.
So the first time I saw them was the Stadium Arcadium tour.
Oh,
So
what a
good.
great era!
And like Flea came out in like a skeleton costume.
Sure, yeah.
And then he goes, "Hey guys, we're actually gonna be recording our music video for this next song," and it was "Snow Hey Oh,"
Whoa,
which was super cool.
So
And
you're in
then,
the Snow music video.
I mean, I'm
That's right.
there within the thousands of people. Yes,
You should be
But
getting
you're
some money
already-
from that.
I got nothing.
Have you ever gone back and tried to find yourself in it?
Like once, but I
Yeah.
probably was.
You're just like whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You should be getting royalties.
I'd be in there
terrible.
picking apart every
Oh, yeah, a
pixel
penny?
to find.
Yeah. It's better
That's-
than no penny.
it's true.
Maybe. Maybe it's a nuisance. I was gonna say, do you have anything you kind of want to promote? Like, I know you got this, you got a drum case deal going on.
Yeah, so I actually have. So this case is Humensenberg.
Mm-hmm. I'll get some
But
shots
I,
of it.
I
Yeah.
have. This is not it, but I have an
Okay.
actual artist case.
Yeah, right.
That I should be having a few more. Hopefully, come to my casa soon.
Cool.
More for like me to bring to clinics so I can sell them there.
Sweet.
Because I don't really know if people in town would want to buy a case from me. I also don't think that's necessarily the right thing to do for people in town.
Sure.
To people in town, I should say. But I think like doing them on the road and stuff, it's like, hey, if you like, this is my signature artist case from this company.
Mm-hmm.
You can have one too.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. It looks cool. It's kind of got like,
It's like blue, black, silver, a
Yeah.
hint of white. It's really cool. Some like sparkle, glitter stuff in there.
yeah, I don't want to say tie-dye because I know that's not right, but like,
And he did it all himself. I just kind of gave him the color scheme and all that stuff. And
yeah.
he sent me like 2 photos, and he was like, I think this one will be cooler. I'm like, cool, let's go with that one then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It looks sturdy too.
I do have a
Looks-
pretty cool like tie-dye-ish one at the house
Maybe that's the one I saw.
that
I saw a photo of it.
I can
On
show you
Insta.
after.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I don't have the photo of it. I have the one of mine, but the other one's like purpley in a sense. Is that the one you saw?
It's something on your Instagram.
it's the one that had the blue. And
Yeah, that's my case. I have another one that he gave me
Okay.
from
Okay.
PASIC that's like more tie-dye-y
okay.
Cool.
Gotcha.
ish.
You should do some videos where you like throw it off of a roof,
Oh, I'm
it-
sure he'd love that.
run it over with your
Yeah.
car, and
No.
Put it through its paces.
Throw it off of a roof.
yeah.
Wonder where you got that one from.
Where?
I'll tell you after.
You should test out some of your cases. Maybe that's a YouTube video for the
Yeah.
garden.
Do you
Yeah,
have
that's
what
right.
cases do you have? Let's do it with your stuff with no drums in
Yeah,
it.
let's do that.
Well, you
We'll
could do it with
start
no
with
drums
me.
in it. I'm sure it's better.
Yeah, maybe that could be right.
What do you mean maybe? Yeah. You don't want to damage your drum just in case.
Yeah,
The case
You're
breaks,
right,
your
you're
drum's
right.
dented.
that's for the company to do. They're supposed to do that before they
True.
sell you the
Yeah.
case.
What cases do you have?
The Sonar ones that like come with the drums,
Are they hard shells?
hard shells. Yep.
All right. Let's get a ladder after this and throw one of those
Yeah,
off.
we'll throw
Yeah,
a few off the roof.
We can each drive our cars over it to see,
Yeah,
you know,
like
just get a few-
Napoleon
I think my
Dynamite,
car
like-
would not make it over it. What do you guys drive? Well, you have the Bronco.
I got the Bronco Sport.
I got
yeah.
it.
Your car would work. I have a Volkswagen Taos.
Yeah, that would
That
be-
might be the best one to use because then it, mine would definitely fuck it up. But
I got the Subaru,
yeah,
so that might be fine.
Yours would just turn it into a granola.
yeah.
if it's within 10 feet.
Yeah.
You just crumble into gravel.
Yeah, totally. Subaru off-roading.
Oh, we
They
do
are,
have.
hey, they are great vehicles, though.
It's true.
If you're from Colorado, you have to drive one. It's like a state rule.
It's mandatory. My cousin lives in Colorado. He does not drive a Subaru. He
Really?
drives a Mazda.
How long has he been there?
He graduated Vandy 2016. I think he's been out there
Okay.
since end of 2016 or beginning of 2017, I believe.
Okay.
What part
It's
of
long enough
Colorado
to
is
have
he
a
in?
Subaru.
Denver.
He's like in Denver proper. Or
I
like,
think so.
yeah.
I'm going out there for his wedding in October.
Oh, fun.
Fun.
Yeah. Yeah. When I was out there, the studio that I worked at was right next door to a Subaru dealership called Super Repair. You know about the super? It's in Boulder.
Super
Subaru pair. It's a attempt at a play on words.
Good attempt. Yeah.
But
I never
yeah,
heard
we would hear like the tire guns fire up, and we'd be tracking drums. Like, hope that didn't make it on
Right.
there.
I will say one of the coolest shows, or one of the most special shows we have done. We got to headline Red Rocks on Mother's Day in 2019, and my
Oh,
folks came out to
yeah.
that, and my
That's
cousin who
awesome.
lives in Denver came too. But that was a really cool experience. But before that, oh man, there's like a 1,500 person club. I forgot what it's called.
In Denver,
Yeah,
you got the Ogden, you got the
Is it
Oriental,
Gothic, the Gothic Theater.
and you have Herman's Hideaway,
Bluebird?
No. We'll have to look it up after.
Chandeliers, Fillmore.
No, it's like
I thought that was it.
1,500.
maybe less, but like it was like the bar. There's a bar in there. They sell food.
There's
What's
a
the
place
place
called your mom's house, but that's not it.
No.
It's worth saying though.
Yeah.
Definitely not that place.
Your mom's.
It's like a small little
Yeah.
venue.
What's that place right
1,500.
across from the Jerry Garcia bar?
I don't know.
It's like I feel like it's like off the highway, like right off the highway.
Right off the highway.
I'm blanking.
Mm,
Come
It's
on,
in
you're from
Denver?
Denver. You should know this. I'm pretty sure it's in Denver. It's definitely it's in Denver.
Yeah,
oh man.
Dazzle. It's not.
The jazz club?
We'll pop
No.
a Google search after.
Yeah, we'll have to Google search. We should know this.
It's bad. I lived there my whole life. I should know it.
Oh well.
Yeah, I was
Terrible.
thinking of the Fillmore. That's what it was. The Fillmore's right next. There's a Jerry Garcia themed bar
That's cool.
right across the street from the Fillmore.
Fillmore's cool.
Yeah, I've never been to a show there.
1,500.
I think could be a little less.
That's probably about right.
We'll look it up after.
Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, Denver, fun city.
Yeah, I'm excited to go back there in October.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back in August. My band's we're talking about doing a vinyl release for our album as like a 2-year anniversary thing, and also just kind of an excuse to get the band back together to play a show because they're all
Nice.
still out there.
band
So,
back together.
yeah, so probably going out there in August. And
That'd be
I'm
cool.
excited.
Next week.
Yeah,
What type of music?
psychedelic rock.
Sweet.
It's indie rock, psychedelic rock. Yeah. So we're hoping to plan like a big show and get everybody we know in Denver out and play like the Bluebird or something.
Yeah, Bluebird. Or
think- I
there's
think we
all
could do
sorts
the
of good
Bluebird.
like theaters in Denver.
Yeah, I
That's
don't know
what-
if we could sell out a theater though.
play your mom's
We're trying to
house.
sell it out. Yeah, we have. I can't get into it actually.
Yeah, the place we definitely played was a club. It was like a music club, and I'm blanking on what it's called.
Golly, I'm not gonna be able to think of it.
I don't
I'm
know.
going back next week, so I'll have to do some
Are you- what are
some
you
field
doing?
research.
We should just pop a Google after.
Yeah.
I bet you will find it in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, we will.
We'll
What
look
are
it
you
up.
doing next week?
Just going back for the sake of going back,
Mm.
seeing the fan.
You going
Nice.
skiing and or snowboarding?
Probably not actually.
It's only a
Some of
few
the
weeks
mountains are
left.
already closing.
Really?
Yeah, some Keystone maybe closed.
Mm-hmm.
Probably go on some good runs
Nice.
because that's what I care about.
I can't run. I mean, I can. I just bothers my knees.
Yeah,
I prefer to walk.
yeah. Go on
Yeah.
walks.
I do. I
I'm a
walk
big
on the
walker.
treadmill.
I love walking. Just take a walk around the neighborhood.
Yeah.
walk.
I walked both of my dogs today separately.
That's a double workout.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's
no,
not-
well, the workout's walking them together.
Yeah.
It's not as bad separate.
Of course, your knees hurt. You got to walk Salem.
No, that's fine. She's fine.
Yeah,
It's together when it's like,
totally.
which that doesn't bother me either. It's just the running, like the pressure on like the knee and stuff like
Constantly it's stopping. Yeah.
Are your dogs both puppies?
that. No. One's 3.
Okay.
I think when they hit 2, they're technically not a puppy anymore.
Yeah.
Salem's 1.5. She's still a puppy.
Mm-hmm.
She's a Great Dane,
She's so
Oh
cute though.
yeah.
but she's only 90. She's
Only.
90 pounds of cuteness.
Yeah. So not
Yeah.
not as
She will
giant.
not be 130 pounds or 140
Right.
pounds.
She's a horse.
She
But
is.
she's so cute. She's
Oh,
got the one eye.
Oh, yeah, she's got one eye.
Aw.
Not from us. We got her from a shelter.
Right.
We rescued her.
What?
So
Where was it? Where'd you rescue her from?
l-
I thought it was out of state.
Lucky Farm, I think.
Sounds right.
Yeah. Rings a bell. I think that's close enough.
Yeah, I think you nailed it.
So,
And what kind of
She's cute.
dog is the other one?
a boxer, but
Oh.
she's like a muted boxer.
I love boxers.
So, like, Salem is pretty timid of new humans.
Mm-hmm.
So, the other one's name is Winter.
Mm-hmm.
Winter will come up to you, no problem,
Mm-hmm.
give you kisses and everything like that. So, when Salem sees that, she's like, okay, I'll go sniff. Like, the person's probably not that bad. And then she's gotten a lot better. Usually,
That's
she'll just, like, run away and go into her crate
Yeah.
and,
Just
like,
kinda
make
hide
these,
away.
like, silly noises of, like, I'm scared. But now she's better.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Winter's in charge.
No,
for
Winter's
sure.
definitely in charge.
Boxers are special dogs. They're very sweet, and they will be your best friend right away.
Oh, yeah.
They're-
And then Great Danes are just, well, I guess I heard once they hit 2, they just become couch potatoes.
Mhm.
Oh, it's cute.
I'm hoping she
Salem's
doesn't
cute.
just become a couch potato.
Yeah.
Like, apparently their energy kind of goes away, but I hope that's not the case
Yeah.
because she still has a shit ton of it.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Maybe you just take it down a few notches, but not all the way down.
Like,
you know?
instead of it being at 10, can we bring it to like 6?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Keep it at a healthy
Yeah.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Goldilocks
maybe
zone.
5.
The Goldilocks zone. Taylor, we need to get some dogs. We'll get them at the same time, and then
Some
it'll-
mascots.
Yeah,
Garden group
exactly.
mascots. Could do it. I need a corgi.
Oh, you're a corgi.
I'm a corgi
You
guy.
look like you look like the
Just
guy.
get a wiener dog, dude.
And I do not say
I can
that.
do a wiener dog too.
I don't say that in a way that's ribbing you.
You
I
look
just
like a corgi.
no, you look like
It's okay.
you and having a corgi. I feel like
It makes
fit.
sense.
Yeah.
So what type of dog would you get?
I kind of want another boxer. We had a boxer for a while that came to us after a hurricane, and my parents had a Kawasaki store at the time, so like dirt bikes and motorcycles, and the big dirt bike rider at the time was Ricky Carmichael. That was
Yeah.
like- yeah.
I remember playing all those video games
Oh,
back in the
yeah.
day, and like
Yeah.
one was a motorbike game, and he was in it, and
Yeah.
I think Travis Pastrana was in it.
Hmm. Yeah,
I love
Ricky
those
Carmichael
games.
was the guy. So we named the dog Ricky, and we were gonna give him away to a family, and we already had a dog, and of course we were like, "Can we keep him?" My parents like, "No, we can't take on another dog." And then the family that was gonna come get him bailed at the last second, and we
And you
all
kept the dog.
Yeah, yeah. We
That's
had
awesome.
all fallen in love with him by that point, and we were all kind of hoping that they wouldn't take him. And so they're like, you know what, we can't take on a dog right now. And we're like, that's fine with us. And so
Like my girlfriend, she'll send me TikTok videos of these dogs of like, oh, it's just so sad. It breaks my heart every time seeing all these dogs in shelters. I'm like, I want all of them.
yeah, I
Yeah.
want to adopt
She's
every
like-
dog.
And then, but she's like, oh, like the next dog, like that we get, it's like a little like, it looks like a golden retriever, but it's not. It's just really little.
Mm.
And she's like, I want one of those. I'm like, yeah, we're not getting another dog for a long fucking time.
Yeah, 2 is enough.
2 is plenty.
Yeah, we got up to 3 at one point, and then my mom put her foot down. She's like,
Yeah.
we're not
3's a
doing that.
lot.
We're going back
3's
down.
a lot.
Yeah, 3's a lot.
Can
The
you
third
imagine-
one is.
Can you imagine being a rescuer? You got like 20 dogs in your backyard.
I mean, you have to have a lot of land for that
you gotta have
Yeah.
a lot of land
and a lot of food.
and patience.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and they all come running at the same time,
Yeah,
Like
right.
if you're,
You're
dealing
getting,
with
you're
20
getting balled
dogs,
over. Come on inside. It's raining. Oh,
Gotta have good doors.
just running. Yeah, I think that there are people that are built for it. They
Mhm.
Oh,
will
totally.
take on 10, 15 dogs at a time.
Yeah.
good for them.
Yeah, good for them. We need
Yeah.
them. I
Superhumans.
don't think I could handle it.
Should we do it?
Yeah, let's do it. Oh, we do have
Let's do
one
it. Let's
do
question
it.
we always ask. Got to ask
Oh,
every
yeah.
guest because I'm collecting answers on this one. What is your go-to hole-in-the-wall food place? Doesn't have to be hole-in-the-wall, but we usually kind of shoot for that. What's something that people may not know that you want to shout out? Just good food,
Oh, man.
go-to lunch spot, something like that.
That's a really good question. I feel like when I'm home, I don't really try to go out for lunch that much, but
Mhm.
if I'm just like craving a really good sandwich, 51st Deli.
That's right.
It's also walking distance to my house.
yeah.
Yeah.
But my favorite pizza place in town,
Mhm.
and people might be like, oh, it's not. I love NY Pie because to me it's
NY
the
Pie.
closest thing to New York pizza.
Really? I've never had NY pie.
Oh, it's so
I'm going to
good.
try it then.
Yeah.
Have you had Midnight Oil
Yes.
next
and
to you? Yeah.
that's good too, and so is Rockin' Dough.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't had Rockin' Dough.
It's good.
Yeah.
They're for dessert, they have these beignets that are fantastic.
Ooh, that
Give me a
sounds
good beignet.
Oh,
Love beignets.
do you guys like po' boys and all that stuff?
Oh,
yeah.
I'm blanking on what the place is. Gumbo Bros in the Gulch.
Gumbo Bros.
It's like a New Orleans type
Oh, I got to take
place,
Blake.
and you can do like
Yeah.
a shrimp po' boy. You know, you
Yeah.
can do all this. Like it's all this New Orleans food, and they have beignets there that are out of. It's like being in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Going to Cafe Du Monde.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
So good.
My roommate's from New Orleans, so he's all over anything New Orleans. So I'm gonna have to. We're definitely gonna be making a trip.
I can't think of a lot of New Orleans-y places here.
There really aren't.
There really isn't a lot.
No.
Wait, so what are your guys' favorite hole-in-the-wall places to eat?
Oh,
I have a lot.
Give me like top 3.
Yeah. Right up the road. It's pretty well known at this point, but Mitchell's.
Yeah. Oh, that place is great
Just
too.
an institution.
Sandwich-wise, that and
institute.
51st are like different sandwiches, though. You know.
Yeah.
That's
I'm a
like-
big Italian sandwich guy. So
Yeah.
I'm like,
51st has a great one.
Yeah.
But also the thing with 51st, they also have hot food as well.
Mhm.
I don't think Mitchell's has hot food. I think they're
Yeah, not
just
really.
sandwiches, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't
What's your-
look too far past the Italian sandwich when I go in. I know
That's
what I
always
want.
been
is.
that's always
It
been
is
my
a go-to.
staple. Or at 51st, they have this West Nasty. That's really
Oh,
good.
yeah.
It's like breaded chicken. I forgot what cheese, jalapenos, diced up cooked ham, bacon, and like this sabi sauce that is amazing.
The sauce
Chef's
is the make
kiss.
or break.
That's
It's so good.
Their breakfast burrito.
Dude, their
is pretty
breakfast
good, too.
burrito is
Their
like
chor-
the
chorizo.
size of someone's face.
It's
huge.
Oh, it's so good.
I had an omelet from there too. It's massive.
Yeah,
It's their food is so good.
they're killer.
And what is
You
that
wouldn't
place called?
expect it.
51st
Oh, that's
Deli.
51st. That's all 51st Deli. Yeah, that sounds really
But-
good.
I have it. This is the best one.
Okay.
It's called Brother Z Wings.
Where's that at?
You've never
So-
even mentioned this place to me.
So my buddy Tom, who now lives in Paris, he showed me the spot because I was probably talking about like Grill Shack's wings. 'Cause That's my second favorite wings in town. Grill Shack?
Is that next to Nelson's?
Yeah, right across
Yep.
the street.
Yeah, I've had their burger there, and fries. That's
Burger's
good
good
there.
too. The
Yeah,
fries
Yeah, they've
are
got good.
So good.
I've never had their wings though.
They got
We
pretty
just
good
had
wings.
some earlier.
I love their wings.
So what is this other place? Brother Z
Brother
Wings.
Z Wings. So my buddy Tom took me to Brother Z Wings. It's right on Dickerson Pike, I think. And it's like it's in kind of a sketchier part of town. So you're kind of high risk, high reward for your wings.
Can you Uber Eats it? Can you
I don't
Uber
know.
Eats
I
it?
don't-
It's probably smart.
Can you send in another soldier to
Yeah.
retrieve the package?
It's your turn to go get them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like
Good luck, Private.
the sauce is like just the right amount of spice. It's not too soggy of a wing and it's not too crispy of a wing. It's like that perfect in between. Brother Z Wings.
Brothers, you
God,
wings.
now you
And
got me
nobody
wanting some
knows about
freaking
it.
wings.
Yeah.
So good.
Uber Eats to the rescue.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Uber Eats to the rescue. There's another deli place, like sandwich kind of place is 615 Deli over it's all, like right off the Belmont campus. They have this
Okay.
thing called the Milanesa, which is like a chicken cutlet with cheese, bacon, jalapeno, and then some sort of aioli that they put on there. It's like their own house aioli.
So when are we going there?
That very
That's
soon.
right.
Cool.
Name a day, name a time.
I'll give you my number and we'll do a bro sandwich spot.
Definitely.
Sign me up. Sounds great.
We still need
How's
to try.
their Italian?
I haven't tried their Italian. I got stuck on the Milanese, and I'm like, this is what I like here.
What the fuck, man? What the fuck?
I know. That's my thing. Is like, I say this to Taylor all the time. I'm gonna say it enough times that people start attributing this quote to me that you can tell the quality of a sandwich place by how good their Italian is because it has everything on it. So if the Italian's good, you can work your way back. From
Mostly
it.
everything on it.
Mostly everything, not everything, but a lot of things.
Who is it? Who's the sandwich shop right across the street from Noble's? Duke's.
Oh, yes. I was there for a buddy's birthday,
Yeah.
but obviously we were drinking beforehand and drinking there, and I was like, I'm hungry. And I got an Italian there, and it was fantastic.
It's so good. It's so
Not just because I was
full.
drinking, but it was really good.
It was good no matter what state of
One of my
mind.
buddies was like, that looks good. I was
Yeah.
like, you want a bite? He goes, yeah. I'm like, Okay, just a small one.
Don't bite too hard.
But it's so full. It has such good spice to it.
That
Again,
place
not
is a
too
hole
much
in the
ice.
wall.
It totally is. It totally is.
Yeah.
That's a good
I
spot.
feel like
to
that's a place only East Siders would know. Because I didn't know about it till I went.
Yeah, because it's kind of
Yeah.
in like that alleyway,
Yeah.
so you wouldn't suspect. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Dukes.
places like that. Only people that live in East or spend enough time here really know about.
Right.
And I don't
Kinda
come to
hiding.
East that often.
Yeah, it seems like people in East kind of stay in East, and people outside of East will only come from time to time.
Yeah. Ever since
Gotta
I moved
cross
out
the
of
river.
East, I'm I'm glad that Taylor and I have a reason to be doing stuff all the time because everything I like is over here.
So where are you located now?
I'm down in South Nashville, kind of like close to Woodbine.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Although last night we had gunshots going off for 3 hours. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that was kind of fun. Yeah, they were just lighting it up. 2 different directions too. There was one like to the west of us, and then the other one
Just
was
like
like.
people having fun, or
I think it was people
maybe
having-
not as much fun.
Well, at first I was afraid it was not as much fun, but then it just kept going, and it was like in bursts, like every hour on the hour.
Huh.
And I was like, I guess they're having fun out there. We called 911 twice, and they're like, yeah, we sent people to look at it, but they didn't see anything. I'm like, well, yeah, it's kind of hard to find somebody just popping off shots in their backyard once
Yeah.
an hour. Like, it's kind of hard to go catch that guy. So,
Exactly.
it
Can you
could've
just wait
been-
there? That'd be great.
yeah, just wait around till you hear them.
Give it
and
3
then go in
hours.
that direction. Yeah. Give it an hour. I promise they're going to start up again.
Yeah, totally.
But other than that, it's a great part of town. Come record with me.
I mean, it is a nice part of town. You got a cool street.
Yeah, we're like everything is like very close to Berry Hill for us. So
Okay, that's a cool area.
I love Berry Hill. Baja Burrito,
Yep.
another place I got to
Yep.
shout out. That's a
Mhm.
top
That place
place
is
to run.
great.
Baja
See,
Burrito.
my hole in the wall Mexican spot is Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, that's
I've
an East,
heard
right?
of Cinco de Mayo.
There's one in East, there's one in West.
Yeah.
So I go to the one near my house.
Yep.
Um,
Oh, it's right on 51st,
Are you a
right?
margarita guy?
Yeah, I mean, I'll drink them. I really don't drink when I'm home. I also
Really?
try not to drink a lot when I'm on the road. But,
Yeah.
you know, I am somehow notorious for chugging beer. But I really try not to drink too much.
Yeah.
Like if I have a drink, it's like maybe a tequila water
Mm-hmm.
after the show, or like maybe I'll just sip on a beer
Yeah.
or two, and then that's kind of it.
Yeah. If you're touring a bunch, I mean, I can imagine.
I try to stay healthy too.
Yeah.
Like catering is like always really good.
That's cool. Yeah, it'd probably slow you down.
Yeah,
If
I
you're
mean,
hungover every morning,
well, yeah,
obviously.
you wouldn't want to do that.
No.
But like, I think also like, I feel like as I've gotten older, I try to really be conscious about what I'm eating and fueling my body with. Although this past weekend, I did indulge in dessert more than I intended to because it all looked so good, and it was so good. But, you know, then you play a show and you're like, okay, I think I just burned half of what I ate off.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool, I'm good.
Do you wear like a calorie watch or a
No,
Whoop?
I don't wear an Apple Watch.
Or-
I thought I've seen ads for the Whoop and all that stuff, and some like RTM has one, and like some other people have them, and kind of just like, hey, you want me to just try it out for like a show, just see what happens, type of deal.
Yeah.
I need to get my Apple Watch fixed, and I know you can probably turn the vibration setting off because that would just drive me nuts
Oh, totally.
playing a show.
Oh, yeah.
But I'd love to try it, but I'm also like, how accurate would it be? Because say I have it on this hand.
Yeah, you're
So
gonna,
I play open-handed, but I'm ambidextrous. So I hit my ride here. I keep my ride here, but I play my hi-hat here.
You play your hat with your
Left hand. So like
Yeah.
say I put the watch on my left wrist.
yeah,
Is it going to think
steps.
steps
Yeah,
or steps here and all that stuff?
Right.
I think
Is it going to calibrate and be correct, or is it going to be all wonky?
Yeah.
I think it does do that because I wear a Garmin all the time, except for now. But you can see my tan.
Nice.
Yeah, it thinks like I'll get my steps in for the day, or like my steps goal, just by sitting down and playing the drums. Like,
Yeah, so it's
Okay.
but it's not like you're really, because you're not walking, obviously. You're
Right.
not running. So how accurate really is it?
it probably can't be right. I
Probably
wonder
not.
you can wear the the heart thing that wraps around your waist. You ever seen those?
Yeah, I guess I can do that, like
Maybe
under
that.
the shirt.
I'd be
You
curious.
cut
like,
a hole
what-
in your shirt. You're like Iron Man.
Yeah.
I'd be curious what your calories are, what you're burning
Me too.
per show in the summer.
So my buddy sent me something, and he said, if you play drums and you play like an hour and a half to 2 hour show, you burn, I don't know how accurate this is, but I think they did a study.
Mhm.
You burn as many calories as a professional soccer player in a 90-minute
match.
game, I guess.
Wow.
However much that is, but clearly I don't sweat, so it doesn't show.
Yeah.
Or I haven't been sweating, so it doesn't show. And
I
I'm
can't
like,
believe you don't sweat.
come
that
on,
much.
man, I want to see the work.
Yeah. I can't believe you don't sweat that much.
Yeah.
That's so
I mean,
weird.
I do have a fan behind me, and
Yeah.
it's not like on, it's 1, 2, and 3, 1 being the lowest, 3 being the highest.
Yeah.
I purposely keep it at 1, so I'm like, okay, maybe I'll get some sweat going.
Yeah.
Tonight's the night.
Tonight's the night.
We're
Just kidding.
That's so funny.
Strange.
Yeah, you want to feel the the payoff of all the work. you're
Exactly.
doing, yeah.
Because then when you eat post-show food, you don't feel so bad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
You guys want to jam?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.